Good morning, Mickey School. In honor of all the men and women who served our country, please stand for a moment of silence to be followed by our national anthem. Thank you, and you may be seated. Well, good morning, Mickey. Today is Friday, November the 11th. I'm Leonard.
I'm Bethany, here with you today for this special Veterans Day broadcast.
Next week is our last week of school before Thanksgiving break.
And after we come back from Thanksgiving break, it's a quick downhill slide to Christmas. I also know that after Thanksgiving is when many elves begin to appear around Mickey.
That also means that you have 21 days left before the end of this semester, aka when we get our report cards and hopefully see some good grades.
Okay, today is the very last day to order a 2017 yearbook. They are $35.
We will have lots of visitors in the building today, and everyone is to be on their very best behavior.
That's right. Today is when we get to see all the hard work that the 7th and 8th graders have been working on. We will see you in the gym at 1:30 for the ceremony to honor those who have fought and served our nation. The book fair will end today at noon, so it's time to be picking out those final purchases before it's all wrapped up and gone.
Next week is also the last week the National Junior Honor Society shirts will be on sale. There are lots of options, and they will make a great Christmas present.
It's that time again. Let's send it over to see what's cooking in the kitchen.
Hi, I'm Jacob. Today we'll be having cheese stuffed crust pizza, brunch for lunch, Uncrustables pack, chef salad, batter bites, whole kernel corn, chocolate cupcakes, pineapple chunks, and a choice of juice or milk. Now back to you in the studio.
The Star-Spangled Banner is the national anthem of the United States of America. This familiar song has a long and interesting history dating back more than 200 years to September of 1814. The new United States of America, barely more than 20 years old, was at war once more with Great Britain, in a war called simply the War of 1812. War had been raging for more than a year and a half when a young American lawyer named Francis Scott Key was sent to a British ship, the HMS Minden, to negotiate the release of some American prisoners. The negotiations took a long time, and because Key had heard the British planning an attack on Baltimore, Maryland, they wouldn't let him go until after the battle. On September 13, 1814, the British attacked Fort McHenry as Francis Scott Key watched anxiously from a ship a few miles away. The battle was so fierce that Key was worried that the British would win. As the sun set, the sky turned red, giving a last glimpse of the American flag as the battle continued into the darkness. The fight raged on all through the rainy night, but once the rockets' red glare and bombs bursting in air stopped, Francis Scott Key could no longer see which flag was flying above the fort. It wasn't until morning, as the early light of dawn revealed the aftermath, that he could see that the American flag still flew, meaning that they had not been defeated. Key was so inspired that the next day he wrote a poem on the back of a letter he had in his pocket, and on September 16th, he was released in Baltimore, where he completed his poem. It was originally titled Defense of Fort McHenry, and was printed in newspapers from Georgia to New Hampshire. The poem was set to music, and various versions became popular, but it wasn't until 1889 that the song was first adopted for official use by the Navy. In 1916, President Woodrow Wilson ordered that the Star-Spangled Banner should be played at military occasions, and President Herbert Hoover signed the bill that officially adopted it as the national anthem on March 4, 1931. Although the song has 4 verses, most Americans today are only familiar with the first verse of the Star-Spangled Banner, which is sung everywhere from baseball games to firework displays and 4th of July celebrations.
Well, that's all for today. I'm Leonard.
And I'm Bethany. Have a good Friday, everyone, and don't forget, there are important visitors in the building. You know what that means. Now let's send it over to Dr. Allred for the pledge.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Till And that's all, folks.